Well, hello again, YouTubers. This is DM Blairwolf, and this video is going to be a little different from most. Excuse me. Tonight I'm going to make a mold. I'm going to mold these 3 tiles. I got them off of Etsy. They're resin casted tiles of Death Star terrain, and a friend of mine, Adam, who has been a great friend to me. He has a Death Star trench, and it's paper. It's printed out to look like the Death Star. So I told him if he got these 3 tiles and gave them to me long enough to mold them, I would make a mold of them and then cast them and then mass produce them for him, and he could cover his Death Star trench with them. They're just going to be simple plaster of Paris tiles. I'll show you how to make them. That'll be another video. But basically what we're using is, where did I put the lid? Right here. It's called composi-mold. I don't know if you can see that. It's basically a solid, excuse me, biodegradable mass that can be put into the microwave and heated up. Then once it's heated up, it can be poured over things, and then once it cools, it can be made into it can be popped out and mass produce molds or cast molds that way. This can also, after you're done with it, be chopped up, put back in this container, and put in a microwave and re-nuked and reused over and over and over and over again. Now, I made this little. I couldn't find a container the right size, so I kind of made a container using some aluminum foil, as Weird Al Yankovic sings of. It's so versatile. I made a little, sort of a, not like really a stir, but I made like a, sort of like a beeswax kind of thing, you know what I mean? Or honey. Because basically what I did was I sprayed some of this glue and water mixture on here, and that's going to help it release from the mold from what I've seen online. So basically what I'm going to do, because this stuff seems to keep bubbles real well. Wow, this stuff is hot. Don't get it on your fingers. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and maybe feed it onto here a little bit at a time so that it's all sticky. So that maybe I can reduce the bubble deal with this. I don't know if this is going to work or not, so I'm gonna give it a try and see what happens. Kind of like down over all these creases and things. Get down in there real well. Kind of like this. Kind of in the details of things by hand first before I actually cast it. Now this is probably going to take a while, and it's probably going to be time-taking, and my composi-mold might actually warm up or cool down. I might have to pause for a moment and take this back, but I seen the guy on Terranscapes. I can never remember that gentleman's name. Shout out to you. He used this stuff for quite a while before he had to, like, I guess, hit it with a hair dryer or something, kind of warm it up a little more. But some of this theory that I have comes from the guy on Terranscapes. I watched him go through a lot in his videos with this stuff, and I think I hope I gained enough knowledge to be able to give this a try now. But some of the things he did made sense, like putting this in first and getting it down in those creases makes a whole lot of sense, because when I pour it on here, it's going to make little pockets, I think. I agree with his thought process. So this may take a little longer in the long run, but I think this will fare a better product. It seems to be that it gets a lot of bubbles in it too, so this could probably help with the bubble stopping process, maybe, possibly. What I'll do is I'll coat these and then see where the bubbles lie in this stuff yet, and see if maybe I could maybe heat it back up again. Should maybe brought the microwave in here. No, I'm just kidding. I ain't gonna rearrange my whole house now, but trying to get this stuff down in here is a bit of a challenge. I still got 2 more to go, so this might be quite a long video. I don't have editing software to kind of give myself boots of speed, as DM Garrett puts it, but if you don't mind watching and riding along with me here, I'll just kind of go at my own pace and see where this turns out, because I've been putting this project off for a while. I got these tiles before the Kappa Cup last weekend, but I couldn't find a container big enough. I should say a container big enough. So I got this idea from another YouTube video to make my own container, basically, and try to see where it goes from there. There we go. That's one. Yeah. I really gotta pick up my pace here, I guess, if I want to make this happen. Because this is my friend Adam, I mean, even if it was a total stranger, I'd want to give him as best a quality as possible. But I'm saying that because this is my friend, I want to make sure I succeed at this more than anything. Because he's done a lot for me, so I want to try and make sure I get this to look real good for him. So I tried to do as much research as I possibly could with this material before I actually molded for the first time. The reason I think this is a smart process, from what I had seen also, is because I sort of do this same thing with my plaster molds. See, you can see the bubbles starting now, but I think they're above the surface. I'm hoping once I put this hot stuff in, it'll draw them out. Plus, I'll see what I can do about vibrating this table a little, maybe punch it a couple times and get some of this stuff to let go. Plus, this tile doesn't have a lot of detail. This is a lot of blocks, really. It's not all little bits and so forth like that one over there. Down, I guess. Yes. Seems like a very messy process. But, oh no, I think this will turn out alright. Even if it's got bubbles, I mean, I can probably, sand them out or something. Just be a little longer process, but I'm hoping once I get this all in these creases and get this on here, the pressure of this stuff will cause the bubbles to rise, I'm hoping. Plus I put the mold release on there that one YouTube channel suggested a watered down PVA glue will work, so I figured I don't really have any reason to disbelieve it, so give it a try. If anybody else has tried to do this before and has better success doing something else a different way with this stuff, if you have experience with this, I know on Bruce Hurst's forum it says not to try and mold plaster, but I seen on one of the YouTube channels that plaster of Paris isn't so bad if you just mix it a little thicker, so it's not so solidified, I guess, liquidy. Okay, we're almost done with this one. I think I got it. I think as well bubble free as I possibly can. So we're going to go ahead and give this a tip. Just gonna pull all these little pieces off. They can be put back in the container later. This stuff is still damn hot, even though I've had it out of the thing for like 5-6 minutes. Okay, so I'm just going to start like right here. Just pour it. I hope this works. Need it all if we don't need it all. Right on. Now, I have to figure out a way to get these bubbles out of here. I can see them. Maybe a toothpick. Got a toothpick back here. Maybe I could. Where's that? How about a little matchstick? Maybe I could do it that way. Maybe just kind of give it like a swoosh around. Maybe. No, that's not working then either. Although it does seem to be down in the creases more than I imagined it would be. By letting it go, I'm seeing that maybe that was a smart idea to go along and put them down in there. I guess I could kind of fiddle around with this since it's liquidy for a while too. Maybe push the bubbles out like that. See, that was a good catch there. I don't know if you guys got that on camera. That was a pretty big bubble. It was kind of welled up in there. Off the edges, possibly. Kind of pull it across like this. Seems to work. Kind of drags the bubbles off, sort of. Yeah, that don't do so bad. Let's try. Looks a lot like bubbles. I think messing with it is just going to make it worse. I don't think there's any way to stop the bubbles that it has already. Because I mean, there's some rather bad ones in there. I mean, unless maybe you pull up. I see that works. Get it near where the bubbles are and pull up. It kind of pulls them away. Pulls them kind of up. That's an interesting technique. Kind of just pulls them to the surface. Like I said, I can deal with them being like in the mold, just not up against what I'm trying to cast. That's kind of annoying. Yeah, I don't know if you guys can see this, but like if you put this down in here and pull up, it doesn't remove the bubble from the stuff, but it pulls it away from what you're molding. Apparently that is a workable trick there. Just kind of pull it up and away. It's kind of like you're carrying the bubble away. Just like that. You're carrying it to the surface then. As you can see, there's a lot of big bubbles. But I seem to be getting them to come up and away. What I see mostly now is the shadows of these bubbles, which, here's one. But I think this is looking pretty decent. I mean, like I said, a few bubbles, as long as it's not messing with the, contours of the actual, like it's not in the concaves like that one. See this one here? This one right here? That son of a bitch. Come out of there, you. There we go. I think I got him. I got him to at least lift away from my stuff there. So you can just kind of push them, pull them up out of the way, which is better to me than being down on the product. So if you're watching from Terranscapes, sorry your name escapes me, but if you're watching, I pretty much am removing the bubbles from my thing just by waiting until the stuff gets sort of like jello-y, a little harder than normal, and I'm not getting rid of them, but I'm pulling them to the surface, which seems to fare better in my opinion than them being all over the project. Yeah, again, see, those bubbles aren't down in there now. They're up on closer to the surface. Except for that one down there. That son of a bitch there. I mean, I can't believe that they would make a product that's supposed to be really good at this, and it has like little setbacks like that. But that seems to be working, pulling it up, sort of pulling the bubbles away. Maybe you might want to give that a try. Okay, so I'm going to pause this and I'm going to let it cure. I think I did the best I could to get most of the bubbles. I mean, what I think I see now along here is more the shadows from the bubbles than the bubbles themselves. Except for maybe like one or two places right there. But I don't know if I could even... Stuff's getting to the point where I'm going to soon start peeling it up as I go if I keep up this anymore. Yeah, so I'll be back like 10-15 minutes. I'm gonna pause it and then I'll show you guys once it's done. That's hard then. Okay, well, what took like just a mere second for you guys there, I've been about 45 minutes, maybe even a little longer than that, waiting for this to dry, or not dry, to cure. The way I made this, I'm able to unpeel the corners and the sides, like so. Just kind of lift this up out of here. Just, you know, using aluminum foil seems to make it easier. I watch people on YouTube having trouble getting their molds out of their plastic containers. I mean, this is coming right off for the most part. It's kind of like trying to demold fudge. Okay, so here we go. Guess it got down in this crease here. Darn it. Oh well. I'll just put that up. Guess we'll do the same over here. It probably got down in there as well. But one good thing is this is all like, you can reshape this after you get this foil off. Be right back. I have my awesome crafting knife. Just go along the edge here. Pick this up easily. Shouldn't be that hard to do. It's really not that difficult. I mean, it did stick, but it's not such a big deal. I mean, for the product that it is, and being able to use it over and over again, so you have a few frustrations you got to deal with, but I don't know, it seems worth it in the end to me. I mean, this works out. I mean, it wasn't that painful. I mean, I see where the problems lie with other projects and things that I see on TV, on YouTube. And I'm sure this probably isn't going to come out perfect. I mean, by any means, it's probably going to be bubbled and terrible, but it's worth a try, and the least worst that could happen is it won't work, which I try to get my kids to understand that, you know, not everything can go well the first time, although I do have zero tolerance for computers and things that don't want to work. That's because it's mechanized. But stuff like this is kind of like a crapshoot in my eyes. I mean, it's sort of like gambling. Either you win or you lose. Maybe I could have tried putting some of that PVA glue and water on this. Maybe that might have been a smart choice, I don't know. Now I'm just getting this extra foil off here. I'm a little being a little too perfect, I guess, but I want to kind of cut these outer edges off here, and I don't want all this stuff on here. It seems to be coming up all right. You just kind of give it a scrape and a pull, and it comes right off. Okay, so you can see this kind of overlapped here. It's going to kind of give it a cut it off, because this stuff is completely moldable. I mean, this stuff is like no trouble at all. Just kind of scrape your knife across there and it's done. See, as long as you keep it up against the tile, you just peel it off. Oop. This feels like that stuff you get on credit cards. I wonder if it's the same stuff. Maybe the same kind of material. There's an idea. Save all that stuff and see if you can heat it up and melt it down. Bet you could. If you remember my video earlier on was how to use your glue bits from your hot glue gun, how to recycle them and make them into molds. You know, there's always an easy way to do stuff if you think about it. I mean, not everything has a quick and easy way, but there's always an easy way to do something. I mean, there's gotta be. I guess that's contradicting. Dumb of me to say so, but like that. But like I said, I'd like to think that being that we're intellectual humans, we could, you know, always figure out a way to build a better mousetrap. Like, you know, the Goldberg machine or whatever. Goldberg machine does all the little bips and bops and things. Okay, so now comes the moment of truth. I think I got this cleaned off enough that I could pop these and see how much bubbles I eliminated by sitting here and playing in my ook. A few more pieces here. I'm gonna try and get quick. There's some foam on there. But I've never done this before, so we're about to see together if I succeeded or if I figured out a cool way to not make a mold properly. Okay, knife aside, garbage all cleaned up. Alright, here we go. It's not as bubbly as I've seen on TV, but it isn't as good a quality as I would like. And these are coming out without a problem. What I'll do is I'll cast one. I'll do a cast and just show you what they look like once they're done. As you can see up here in the light, I don't know if you can see that or not, but there's a lot of bubbles. I don't know if you can see that well, like I can. But I mean, you can see I did the best I could if you look on the back there. I mean, I really did the best I could to pull a lot of them bubbles up. I mean, they're stuck in the mold. Like I said, I'll do a mold of it. I'm not happy with it. I don't think this is I don't think this is going to work for my needs. I mean, they say fine detail shouldn't be used in this, real fine detail, but this isn't very fine detail. This is pretty like geometrically. You know, it's okay geometrically. It's not all vamped up. I mean, there's a bubble right there in the gearing. This stuff right here. So nicely made, and these bubbles just screw it all up. But there you go. We learned together that there isn't much you can do even when you try to stop the bubbles from forming. I think it would have been a lot worse if I didn't use that sort of found along the way technique of pulling them up. I mean, maybe they just look that bad. Maybe there's just under the surface like these, but I really believe those are pretty much compromised with bubbles. I don't know why anybody would want to make a product and say it's great for molding, and then it just, I mean, I boiled the hell out of it to make sure there was no bubbles in the actual mold material. I can't say soaked, but pre-dipped. Now, see, there you go. Maybe if you dipped it down in, dipped it down in the stuff, like in the front, like chocolate, like dipped it down in, kind of wiggled it around a little, and then just kind of pulled it and left it kind of come together in one point, and then flipped it over after it kind of slowed down, and then sat it in your mold, and then did them real quick, you know, let it come congeal in, and then flip it over, do the next one, do 3, and then right away just pour them. That was probably another problem too, is by the time I got done with this one to this one was already starting to set. So putting that hot stuff on top of the cold may have caused the bubbling. I don't know. I'm just kind of bummed about it because I mean, worst comes to worst, I can melt it down and try again. I mean, I'm not really pissed off about it, but I'm definitely seeing what again, I can't remember the guy's name from Terranscapes. I'm so sorry. If you can see my face, I'm completely sorry. I'm sure everybody who leaves a comment now will leave his name, and he'll probably leave his name. You'll probably leave your name, more than likely. I don't know. I see where his frustration comes from. I mean, that's if you can see that, that's terrible. That's a terrible outcome of a product. I mean, I don't feel as though my time's wasted. I learned a lot. I mean, I would have never learned that secret I could pass on to you guys, like that taking and pulling up when it's almost like okay, the consistency was kind of like whenever you put your fruit in your Jello and you want your Jello to kind of the fruit to kind of just like solidify and stay right there in the middle of your mold. That's kind of like the consistency this stuff was when I started to do that pulling up, and it sort of pulled it away and drug it off to a higher. Like you can see these weren't like this then. These bubbles here, if you can see them, they weren't like that. They weren't that close to the surface. They were down in those creases and things. So you can greatly reduce, maybe greatly reduce a good bit of it if you get a good pour to start. Like you get a knock on, banging, boom. Wow, there's like 10, 12 bubbles on there. How the hell did that happen? Oh, and then you can, lucky me, you can pull them up and get them out of the way. But if you have an onslaughted slew of bubbles, you might as well just consider it wasted from the start. I mean, just knowing that it's going to come out crappy. I don't even want to make any to show you. But what I'll do is I'll cast them maybe in a couple of days. I got a lot going on over there on the other side. There's a lot of tiles and stuff to be done. So this is it's like 2:30 in the morning. I'm kind of up late, so I kind of figured I'd play around with this and bring you guys along for the adventure. What adventure it was! It definitely was a learning experience. You know who you are who thought of this. That's weird, because like I'm the only person in this house. That's kind of scary. I'm not even kidding. All right, so I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna turn this off and leave your comments below about the idea of the it's just there is something going on over there. Now idea if you have a better one of aluminum foil or maybe some plastic containers. It's not bad mess to clean up. I mean, I made a mold in 45 minutes, and then I have very little to clean up. So, till next time, guys, fellow crafters. Again, leave your comments below, and till next time, thanks for watching. I appreciate your time.